What's up guys, Lifting here. Whether you just want to go fast, safe, or just want to reach endgame as soon as possible, doing it with the right leveling items and skills is going to make a huge difference. In this video, I will present a cookie cutter template for anyone wanting to level any typical archetype spellcaster. From this, you can then later transition into whatever build you're planning to run. So just quickly before we begin, a typical archetype spellcaster is any type of build that relies on skill nodes such as spell damage, elemental damage and cast speed. So if you have one such build in mind or plan to follow, but just want the early levels to be as fast or easy as possible, then follow this advice, as using some relatively cheap leveling uniques and optimal skill gems can save you a lot of time. So the first thing you need to do once you reach Lion Eye's Watch is to get yourself a Freezing Pulse gem as your quest reward from Tarkley. Thereafter, talk to Nessa and buy yourself a Firetrap. If she doesn't have this available to you or the Freezing Pulse isn't available to you, log out, then create a shadow, run to town, talk to Tarkley and get it as a quest reward. Then throw it into the stash, relog to your other character and pick it up. Next up, equip your Wanderlust boots for a massive movement speed and mana regen bonus. Then equip 2 regular white driftwood wands, or even better if you have spent the currency, dual wield 2 Lifesprig wands. And equip the Goldrim helmet. These unique wands provide a ton of damage and the helmet will greatly help to cover your elemental resistances for the entire leveling process. If you prefer a more budget friendly version, I'd recommend buying the Honor Home helmet. You won't be able to equip it at level 1 and it doesn't provide as much resistance, but it is still very useful and it is very cheap. Just make sure to remember and equip it as soon as you reach level 12. At level 5, also make sure to equip your Karui ward amulet. This one will increase your movement speed, give you dexterity to help you level up your gems, and some projectile speed which benefits Freezing Pulse. And this is just a very temporary item and it will be switched out around level 20, but it works very well early on. Once you've defeated Brutus in the prison, get yourself both a Flame Dash and the added lightning damage support gem from Nessa. If it is available to your class, I'd also suggest getting the added cold damage support for extra damage. Link these to Freezing Pulse if you have the sockets for it. If not, just keep it in your inventory for now. At level 10, equip both your Axiom, Perpetuum sceptres for yet another massive damage boost to your skills. Now, once you reach Merveil's Caverns, go back to town and get yourself the Firestorm spell from Nessa, socket it in and link it with added lightning damage and added cold if you have that one. From here you need to only rely on your Firestorm ability, which means you can throw away your Freezing Pulse and Firetrap skill gems, and it's then time to finish Act 1. Once you get to Act 2, make it your priority to complete the Intruders in Black quest and reach level 16. Once that is done, you will be rewarded with a few skill gem choices. Here you need to pick Herald of Thunder, then after that go talk to Yena and buy yourself a Herald of Ice as well. Socket these into your gear and activate the abilities for a nice amount of extra elemental damage. Next on the list is to reach level 18 and defeat the Weaver in her chambers. Once that is done, talk to Silk and get yourself a faster casting gem, then talk to Yena again, buy one more of these and also a concentrated effect gem. Take out your added lightning and cold damage gems and link concentrated effect and faster casting to Firestorm instead. The other faster casting you bought, link that to Flame Dash. Somewhere around level 20 you should also be able to equip your Elreon rings and your Elreon amulets. The unique thing about these is that they decrease the flat mana cost of your skills, making it much easier to sustain the mana cost, allowing you to spam the abilities with no downtime. Now simply continue with the setup all the way until you reach level 28 and you encounter General Gravicious in Act 3. After he is defeated, go back to town and get the Bladefall skill gem and use that instead of Firestorm. Unless the build you're following specifically scales fire damage. If that's the case, keep Firestorm and don't buy the Bladefall gem. I'd also suggest that at this point in time that you start using a 4-link for your Bladefall or Firestorm setup. In the new link, add Controlled Destruction for even more damage. And you can of course do that sooner if you have a 4-link available at the earlier stages of the leveling process. From here, your character is pretty much set on its way and you can effectively level into the higher difficulties. Just make sure to keep an eye out for rare gear with life and resistance rolls or energy shield if that's your thing. And it is of course up to you when you switch over to whatever build you have in plan to follow, but this will get you to the point where you can pretty much use any skill gem setup, and it does it very efficient and safely, at least if the build you're planning to follow is a typical caster build that also scales spell damage, elemental damage, cast speed, or some of them at least. I hope you found this useful. Check out my 2 other guides for leveling any melee or bow character efficiently. There should be a link to them somewhere in the description of the video. Subscribe for more Path of Exile content. Thank you for watching, and bros, do you even nerd?
One more rep. One more. Good job.